What's going on, guys? Jay Recher here with you. You know where that place is. Boom, Amalie Arena. That is the site of Game 5. Hopefully, if the Lightning can make this a series and come on back and start with beating the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight at Nationwide Arena. Right now, 98 Rockfest going on. You can hear them from across the water here. Some really good stuff. All right, we're going to bring our good buddy Brian Burns in here in a second. He is in Columbus ahead of between the Lightning and the Blue Jackets. Of course, you can follow Brian on Twitter at @BBurnsNHL with all the latest and greatest news for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Burnsy, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Jay, what's going on, man?
I think I could see your office from here, brother. Where you at?
I'm in my hotel room in Columbus right now.
All right. How's the weather up there?
It hasn't been bad. It rained a little bit last night, not too hard. It's been kind of cool, but, nice, light jacket weather, and it's been pretty sunny. So it hasn't been bad at all.
There you go, man. All right. Obviously, the big thing with the Lightning today, trying to get back into their winning ways after falling the first two here at Amalie Arena. What's the biggest news from morning skate today? I know Victor Hedman was not out there, but Jon Cooper did announce that he was a game-time decision, correct?
Yeah, game-time decision for Victor Hedman, although, when you look at the fact that he didn't practice on Saturday before the team left for Columbus, then he wasn't out there again for an optional morning skate. Today, I have my doubts if he'll play tonight. You would think if he were going to play that he would be in one of those two practice sessions. So the fact that he wasn't in either lends me to believe that he just might not be ready to go. So it's going to be more adversity for the Lightning, down 0-2 in a hostile environment. They don't have Nikita Kucherov. There's chances they don't have their star defenseman, Victor Hedman. So it's a big challenge for the Lightning tonight.
Without a doubt, and it looks like Nikita Kucherov, obviously with him being out, being suspended, Ryan Callahan will slot in. So what were the lines looking like today for morning skate?
Yeah, no lines because it was optional. There were about 12, 13 guys out there. You would expect Callahan probably will slot in, on that right wing spot in the on the fourth line. Probably Matthew Joseph moving around a little bit, maybe up to the top line to inject a little bit of speed to that top line. You'll probably see Braden Coburn, too, if, Victor Hedman's not able to go. We did see Anton Strawman at skate. He's wearing a regular jersey. So maybe a slight chance. Cooper wasn't asked whether Strawman would be available, but maybe a slight chance that Strawman's able to go tonight. So we'll see. But it's going to be a revamped Lightning lineup. But you got to like what Ryan Callahan can bring, that experience, that veteran leadership, that voice in the room, the energy, that heart and soul type of player. I really think the Lightning could use a little bit of that for Game 3. So really happy to see Ryan Callahan getting in tonight.
Without a doubt. And Jon Cooper said today one of the big things was not about so much of the dump and chase game. It's trying to get out of that and trying to get back with possessing the puck more and having a little more confidence in, their playmaking ability. Do you think today, Burnsy, I was kind of thinking about this morning, when you go on the road, you play a little bit of a more simpler game. You're not looking to make those highlight plays or have those unbelievable one-timers that we've seen throughout the year. Do you think that kind of goes hand in hand with what the Lightning's plan is going to be today, just making it a little bit more simple and just getting shots on net?
Yeah, being simple, valuing the puck, I think is going to be a big thing. Puck possession for the Lightning hasn't been that great. They've had too many turnovers, too many just passes that don't have a very high chance of success rate. So I think you'll see them tighten that up a little bit, try to value the puck a little bit more, try to keep possession, try to get it into the zone a little bit more and keep it there so they can play in the offensive zone rather than having the puck buried in their own end for much of the game. And, a lot of times when you go on the road, I think going on the road is probably the best thing for this team right now.
I agree.
Get out of Tampa, the Lightning faithful are understandably, worried about what's going on with this team right now and why they're in an 0-2 hole. So kind of get away from that negativity a little bit, just kind of insulate yourself within the team, get on the road. You kind of do everything as a group. And I think it's probably a really good thing that this game is going to be played in Columbus, even though, it's going to be loud inside Nationwide Arena. Their fans have to be ecstatic that they're up 2-0 right now. And even though, last year they were in a similar situation in the first round against Washington, I don't think they're really worried about a repeat of that. I feel like this Columbus team thinks it's a different squad. It's a little bit more prepared to handle, being up 2-0 in a series this year than maybe they were last year. And they have to feel pretty good about the way they played, especially in Game 2, because they pretty much dominated that entire game.
Yeah, without a doubt. And if you're watching us on Bolts Breakdown, as always, we want to hear from you. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put them there at the bottom of the screen. Like Chanel, she's watching from Largo. So what's going on, Chanel? And also put there at the bottom of the screen where you're watching from, and share this on your Facebook. Let's spread the word out. Brian Burns in Columbus. Jay Recher here with you. Harbor Island. Boom, there you go. There's Amalie Arena. And people are rocking right now for 98 Rock Fest. So that'll be really cool if you're going on over there before the game tonight. Marcus Pearson wants to know, Burnsy, who will be on Kuch's spot on the power play?
Well, I think Tyler Johnson will probably move up to that first power play spot. I think Braden Point will probably end up in the right circle where Kucherov usually is stationed and kind of be that facilitator. He's going to be good in that role. We all know how well Braden Point can distribute the puck and knows how to get guys the puck in the right spot. So I think you'll see Point in the right circle and probably Johnny in the middle on that first power play unit.
Yeah, so you're definitely going to see some adjustments as well. We looked at some of the likely. I was watching the Lightning show earlier today with Kaylee Chelios and Dave Mishkin. You've been on there before, brother, and they said that it looks like Stammer maybe with Gordon Joseph on that first line. Really interested to see how that whole line will shake out right there, because I think Stammer is a big key to tonight's game, Burnsy, and if you can have both those scrappy wingers skating as hard as they can, two of the fastest skaters, not just on the Lightning, but in the entire NHL, I think that could be something that gets number 91 going.
Yeah. Need a big game out of the captain tonight.
Yeah,
There's no doubt about it. The Lightning, their superstars really haven't shown up in this series. Stamkos, Kucherov, neither one with a point. I think Braden Point's looked pretty good, just hasn't really gotten much help on his line. Andre Vasilevsky, we haven't seen, the big cat that we're used to seeing out there. He needs a bounce-back performance. Victor Hedman hasn't been the Victor Hedman that we all know and love. And even Ryan McDonough, I think, has been, a little bit subpar for what we've seen from him. So I think it'll be incumbent on the Lightning's big players, their main players, their superstars, to be that superstar presence. And I think it starts probably with the captain and him being the one to kind of lead the way.
Brian Burns, beat writer for TampaBayLightning.com. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at @BBurnsNHL. Right by the water, brother. I can barely see.
Yeah, I'm wondering, what are you doing? Why you're walking around a lot?
I got to keep moving, man, because it's like there's dogs over there, and it's so bright, man. And I was like, should I bring my sunglasses? If I bring my sunglasses, I can't see anybody out there. So just trying to make sure that I'm, still have a good view there. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good.
There we go. Maurice,
stop on over to Cafe Dufresne, get a couple shrimp tacos. I like that place.
Yeah, man. You know where I go? If you guys are ever here in Harbor Island, I go to this place like pretty much every day, the Crybaby Cafe. Go check that out. I have so much fun in there, and I usually go over there, pick up a sandwich, and go over to Emily for practice and games. So you can't beat anywhere around here. It's so freaking nice. Let's see. Frederick Olsen, I think that would be a nice line. Gordon Joseph will create room for Stammer and also be able to contain the puck in the zone. Also, Marion Roy Stokes, I believe in this team. Go Bolts from Ocala. P.S. It's shared. Thank you so much for that. And I think that, looking at some of the things that we've seen just this weekend, Burnsy, I know it really doesn't have anything exactly to do with the Lightning, but Chris Davis was 0 for 54 and got 3
Hey, I'm an Orioles fan, so
there
yeah.
you go. So 0 for 54. He had 3 hits yesterday. Tiger Woods, after that long hiatus, wins the green jacket today. I know I was watching it. A lot of people were. Nobody thought he'd ever win a tournament or get back in golf or win a major again. This isn't such a steep mountain to climb, I don't think. I just think people, more than anything, Burns, you're just a little shell-shocked because you win 62 games. You think you're just, the team to beat and you don't have to deal with much adversity. But I think this is an opportunity to Lightning to really show people what they're made of, and I expect them to come out flying tonight.
Yeah, sometimes when things look their bleakest, and they certainly look bleak now, down 0-2, going on the road, have to win at least one, if not two, both of these games. And, to me, this game is maybe the most pivotal game for this group of Lightning players, this kind of Steven Stamkos, the Kucherov, Johnson, Palat, like that group of Lightning players, Hedman. This might be the most important game that they'll ever play, because you talk about a team that, this is probably the best chance the Lightning have to win a Stanley Cup. I know they went to the final a few years ago. That was a little bit unexpected. I know they've been in a couple Eastern Conference finals here and have been right on the doorstep. But if you look at the talent on this team, the regular season that they had, this is the best chance for a Tampa Bay Lightning squad to win a Stanley Cup, I think, at least for for right now. Maybe in the future they're able to tinker and maybe even get a little bit better. But for right now, this is the best chance that they have. And this is a pivotal game. If they lose this game, I know it's not a must-win in the sense that it's not an elimination game, but you go down 0-3 with the way that they played in Game 2, and I just don't think that they're going to be able to climb out of an 0-3 hole from what we've seen so far from this squad. So I think this is probably the most pivotal game, for this group of Lightning players in their postseason history. They don't have Kucherov. They might not have Hedman. It looks like a dire situation, but sometimes in those most adverse situations, you find your true character, and you're able to rise above that. And I'm looking for that from the Lightning tonight. I think they put together like you. I think they have a good game. I think they rally around Ryan Callahan and all of the adversity that they're dealing with right now, and they put together a solid performance and get it done in Game 3.
For those just joining us, yes, it looks like Braden Coburn, and it looks like Jan Ruda, he'll probably play with him tonight. Sergachev and Girardi, and then McDonough and Chernak. That's all if Hedman cannot go. He is a game-time decision, and we will see Ryan Callahan slotted on that third line. Follow Brian Burns at BBurnsNHL. Follow me at Recher. Burnsy, big game tonight for the Bolts, man. Down 2-0. Got to win this Game 3 up in Columbus. What's your 3 keys to victory for tonight?
Number one for me is, I want to see the Lightning win some more of those puck battles, like along the wall, and some of those 50-50 pucks. I feel like they've come out on the losing end on a lot of those puck battles, and specifically thinking about the first goal in Game 2 where it's a face-off in the defensive zone, and the Lightning win the draw, get it back below the goal line. Eric Chernak has it, kind of rims it around to JT Miller, and rather than going to meet the puck or anticipating that Matt Duchene was going to try to get there and out-battle him for that puck, he just kind of stood along the wall. Duchene gets in front of him, is able to dig the puck out, send it in front of the net, and I think it was Atkinson that was able to put it past Vasilevsky. And, that to me right there was kind of symptomatic of what we've seen from the Lightning, where a lot of those 50-50 plays along the wall, they haven't been coming out on top, and they've been getting burned by it. So I want to see them win some more of those puck battles, and I think that'll lend itself to them having more possession of the puck tonight. Number 2 for me is rally with Callie. You got Ryan Callahan in the lineup. Yeah, he's a heart and soul guy. He's going to bring a spark to this team. What you're going to get with Ryan Callahan. You're going to get everything he has within him. He is a warrior, and arguably you look at the Eastern Conference Final last season against Washington. You could say or make a case that he was the Lightning's best player in that series. He scored the last goal that they would score in that series in Game 5, what would eventually be the game winner. I thought he was fantastic last year in the playoffs, and really just need to get that energy from him, get that spark, and just hope that can translate throughout the entire team. They can look to Callahan as the guy to lead the way, and everybody else follows suit. And then number 3, just kind of what I touched on earlier, just respond to adversity. This team has done well. I know they haven't had a lot of adversity this year, but in the past and past playoff situations, I think back to like 2015 when they were down 3-2 going up to Detroit in the first round, could have easily lost that series and never even made it to the Stanley Cup final. They went in and played one of their best games of the season and won that Game 6, and then came home and finished it off. There's been plenty of times, losing Game 1 to Boston last year at home, and then coming back and reeling off 4 straight, losing the first 2 games of the Washington series last year, and then looked pretty bleak. And they were able to win the next 2 in Washington, get that series tied, and get it back to a home ice situation. So for me, this team has always responded pretty well when they have a lot of adversity, and I just want to see that same response from them tonight.
Without a doubt. My one guy that you got to watch, to me, is Matt Duchene. I mean, this is the guy that they go out and get at the deadline to make a difference. He and Ryan Dzingel, and, man, he was really, really good in Game 2 with a goal and 3 assists. This is the reason why he's, a guy that was a highly touted prospect coming up. And, both of the times he was in the middle of a trade, he was the centerpiece of it. He's a damn good player, and it seems like he's really kind of found his way in John Tortorella's system. This is just such a deep Columbus Blue Jackets team. It's not a great matchup for the Tampa Bay Lightning, but this is the kind of team that you got to beat if you're the Tampa Bay Lightning and you want to advance. It's the team that slides under the radar a little bit, the team that's deeper up front and has more defense than and then a goaltender like Sergei Bobrovsky, where he's been pretty good for 5 of the 6 periods, but Bernsey, man, that's still a question mark. I mean, if you can get into the head of Sergei Bobrovsky, it's hard to believe or hard to think that the doubts won't creep back into his head. And that's the big reason why I think the Lightning get right back into this series, because a leopard doesn't change his spots overnight. And for a guy like that, his postseason numbers haven't been very good. And if he has a rough one tonight, I think it may kind of snowball, and I think he'll have some doubts creeping into his head.
Yeah, I mean, he looked pretty shaky in the first period of Game 1, and I thought the Lightning did a great job of capitalizing on that shakiness. And, really that save on Kucherov he had at the beginning of the second period on the power play when the Lightning really should have made it 4-0. He slides over and robs Kucherov in a wide open shot on the back post. Is kind of a 2-on-0 down low with Stamkos and Kucherov. And I really think since that save, he got a lot of confidence off that save. I think his team in front of him got a lot of confidence off that save because you saw their game improve from that point on. And really, since that point, it's been nothing but Columbus in the rest of this series. So, looking for one of those pivotal moments in this game, that moment like Bobrovsky save early in the second period of Game 1, looking for one of those pivotal moments from the Lightning, or to go to Lightning's way in Game 3 and maybe just kind of change the tide and the tenor of what this series has been so far.
Brian Burns, beat writer for TampaBayLightning.com. Jay Recher, 95.3 WDAE. Let us know where you're watching this from. Share this on your Facebook. Let's get the word out. And also, give us a shout. Let us know what you think is going to happen tonight in tonight's Game 3. A couple people are asking on here, Burnsy, I don't necessarily agree, but Andrei Vasilevsky has not played so well so far in this series. Some people are asking, should Louis Domingue get in net? I don't see Louis Domingue getting in this game unless Vazzy gives up 4 or 5 in the first. I mean, this is your horse. This is your Vezina Trophy candidate. I just think you got to ride with Vazzy tonight. He just has to step up. I think it's just plain and simple. He's a guy that needs to step up. He has to play better.
Yeah, I don't see any chance of Louis Domingue, even if Vasilevsky gives up 4 or 5 goals in the first period. I think you just ride with him. Unless he's injured, I think this is Andrei Vasilevsky's net, and you have to give it to him. I mean, everything that he's done for this franchise, the season that he's had, what the caliber of goalie that he is, you have to let him work through this. He hasn't been as sharp, but I don't necessarily think that you can really lay any of this on him. You look at some of the shots that Columbus has scored on, and they're putting the puck in just some really, really good spots. Yeah. And they're shooting the puck probably as well as maybe they've ever shot it. And some of these shots where they're picking corners, and there's not a whole lot that Vasilevsky can do. The thing is with Vazzy, you always expect him to make those 1 or 2 just tremendous saves to keep the team in the game, and they just haven't come for him in these first 2 games. The goals that he's given up, you would expect in each one of those games for him to make one of those saves in each game, take away one of those goals. Yeah. And if he does that, you're talking about a much different game, especially in Game 1, obviously, when they lose by a goal. So I think if he can make a couple big saves early to show that he's dialed in, I think that'll give the team a lot of confidence in front of him, and hopefully that can have a trickle-down effect on the rest of the guys.
A bunch of people just tuning in to us. We appreciate everybody. Mike Walker in Pinellas Park, John Thomas in Odenton, Maryland, Stacy in Dunedin. This one's pretty funny right here. William Pryor, watching from a kid's birthday party in Bradenton, thinking about rolling up to the watch party. I'll be at the watch party. I believe it's at Straub Park. Have you heard of that before?
In St. Petersburg?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a cool park. It's right along the water, along Beach Drive. That's my running route. That's where I go right by there along the water.
There you go. I will be there today with our good buddy John Sable and Brandon Baylor from ABC Action News. So make sure you tune into them. I'll be there. As always, you can watch the game on Fox Sports Sun tonight and also hear it on News Radio WFLA. Shout out to Debbie and Romeo, Cindy in Italy. Hialeah, Florida. Betty Turner is checking in from. I'm surprised, Bernsey, that so many people are just saying that Vasilevsky needs to sit. I mean, I just don't think that it's just
can't give up on him.
No, you can. I think that's a big thing is with everybody, with this Lightning team. It's only 2-0. There's many teams that have come back from a 2-0 deficit before. I know some people will say, well, Washington played much better in the first 2 games last year than the Bolts did this year. It's not so much about how they played the first 2 games because that's behind you. All that matters is if the Lightning win this game tonight, the doubt and all the questions that the media have been asking the Lightning, the media are going to ask Columbus and go, well, is it in your head? Is it in your head? And it's hard to block that out. And let's say Lightning win tonight and then Game 4, they get a fluky goal early. the whole tide, the whole momentum might turn, and then you come back here for Game 5, knotted up at 2. That's not improbable. I think that is quite possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the shock and just doubt right now stems from, I mean, Game 2 was not, a good one for the Lightning by any means. They pretty much got thoroughly outplayed, and you expected a much better response from them. But you look at Game 1 and just how that game ended, I think everybody felt the Lightning were, especially after the first period, like we're going to be up 1-0, and everything's looking really good, and then it just the series flipped, and I really believe it flipped on that Bobrovsky save early in the second period, and since then Columbus has kind of had to run a play, but you look at if one or two things go differently in that Game 1, you're talking about a 1-1 series right now. The Lightning are able to win that game, so I don't think it's as dire as everybody's making it out to be, but I think the main thing is we just really haven't seen the Lightning team that we've been used to seeing during the regular season. In Game 2, they looked really tentative. They looked unsure of themselves. They didn't really play with much confidence. They didn't inspire much confidence with their style of play. So I think they want to get back to what's got them here, get back to what got them 62 wins on the regular season, and I think you're going to see a simple game from them, a much smarter game, and hopefully that leads to a Game 3 victory.
Mark Sherman from Fulton, New York, near the Syracuse Crunch. The Crunch clinched the North in the AHL last night. They're the number 2 team in the AHL. Tampa needs to play their game and defend their end better. You got that right. Congratulations to the Syracuse Crunch. And, Mark, guess what? I know exactly where Fulton, New York is because I went to SUNY Oswego, and you had to pass through Fulton to get to Oswego, not anywhere close to New York City or Columbus, Ohio, or Tampa, Florida, that is for sure. We'll take a couple more questions before we skedaddle out of here. Brian Burns, beat writer for TampaBayLightning.com. He's up in Columbus. Jay Recher here in beautiful Harbor Island. There you see Amalie Arena behind me. 98 Rockfest going on over there. If you want to go to a Lightning watch party, Straw Park in St. Pete, I'll be on with the guys at Action News, ABC Action News, Channel 28. So go check them out. Straw Park in St. Pete. Possible thunderstorm tonight in the Tampa area. That's got to bode well for the Bolts. Let us know where you're watching from. Share this thing on your Facebook. Hyde Park, New York. I know where that is as well. Burnsy, the other couple things looking at this team, talking about having the stars step up, but also the defense too. I want to make sure that this team plays a little bit more of a defensive game. I wouldn't mind a low-scoring game tonight, a 2-0 or a 3-1 game. I think the principles that the Bolts need to get back to and making sure that they're playing well in their own zone, I think that is just as important as having guys score the puck in the back of the net.
Yeah, a lot of that is, just winning those puck battles again in your own zone, fighting for those loose, 50-50 pucks, making sure that you're able to break out of the zone cleanly. And, a lot of times I've seen this series where they're under a little bit of pressure in their own zone and they just kind of send it up the ice into the neutral zone to try to relieve some of that pressure, but it gets turned over and then it's right back in their own end and they're right back in the same situation, and Columbus is able to reload and kind of go to work again. And I just think the Lightning have to be a little bit better about valuing the puck, making those breakout passes crisp and not trying to do too much with them. But you really need to get the puck out of their zone as quickly as they can, and then go to work possessing the puck and using their skill to carry it into the zone. And then we know how skilled this team is and how offensively gifted they are. And once they get in there, they need to keep possession and use some of that offensive skill to try to generate more chances against Bobrovsky, because they really didn't generate much of anything in Game 2. They had a couple of good opportunities with Tyler Johnson towards the end, kind of a wide open shot where he missed the mark, and Stamkos had a shot where he thought he would score for sure and kind of scuffed his shot a little bit, and then it went off a skate in front. Usually those are chances that they bury, but for whatever reason they weren't able to do it in Game 2. But got to get more in close to Bobrovsky. Too much was coming from outside. They weren't really able to kind of penetrate Columbus's defense there and get some shots in close. And they never really tested Bobrovsky. They never gave him a chance to see if those nerves could creep back into his game because they didn't test him that much.
Without a doubt. And another thing I was thinking about is some people were erroneously saying, oh, they got to be more physical. I thought they were very physical in Game 2, and I just think it took them out of their game a little bit. It was eerily reminiscent of that first game after the break against Pittsburgh. Remember that?
Yeah.
When they came out flying, hitting people, and it just took them out of their game. I think a huge part of the game tonight, Burnsy, is it's important to play smart instead of hard. Work smart, not hard. This team is working hard enough. The effort is there, in my opinion. I mean, you see Matthew Joseph flying around. You see Braden Point trying to get into a fight. When these guys, when they're making some of the mistakes, they're physical mistakes. I don't think it's lack for effort. They got to be smarter with the puck. If they're going to give you the neutral zone at times on the power play, skate the puck in. Go one-on-one if you have to. Sometimes it's overpassing. Sometimes it's dumping the puck in just for the sake of dumping the puck in. You got to use your smarts. Short passes sometimes are good. Get going forward direction, move as one unit, have some flow. If they work smarter instead of harder tonight, I think the Lightning will have success.
Yeah, Dave Mishkin has had a good call in the past. It was, I don't even know when this game was, but it was against Montreal, and he said something like the Habs are drunk on finishing their checks, and the Lightning were able to score off of that. And I think the Bolts have been drunk on trying to finish their checks against the Columbus Blue Jackets, and it's kind of gotten them out of their game. And to the Blue Jackets' credit, they've been able to absorb those hits and absorb that physicality and continue to make plays. And I think that's something that Tampa Bay needs to maybe get away from a little bit. I think they've been playing maybe a little bit too reckless, looking for the big hit. And that's really not what this series has been about so far. So just look for them to get back to the game that we've seen them play during the regular season. And I think that should be a good start for them to get back into this series.
All right, well, hopefully the Lightning can turn this baby around. It starts with a win tonight in Columbus. Brian Burns, beat writer for TampaBayLightning.com. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at BBurnsNHL. You can follow the team at TB Lightning. Go to TampaBayLightning.com for the best news and notes. Burnsy, what do you got up on the site today, brother?
Yeah, just Ryan Callahan back in the lineup and how they hope that can inject some life and some energy into this Lightning team right now.
Well, Burnsy, thanks for hopping on, brother, and enjoy the game. And I will talk to you later on tonight, and we'll be back on Bolts Breakdown for Tuesday, brother. Be good.
Yeah, should be a good game tonight. Really looking forward to this one.
All right, man. Have a good one, pal.
Thanks. You too.
That's Brian Burns, beat writer for TampaBayLightning.com. Again, make sure you follow him on Twitter at BBurnsNHL with all the updates. Him and Kaylee Chelios, those are the two people to really follow. They have their fingers on the pulse of this team. Again, if you missed it, Ryan Callahan in on that fourth line. Victor Hedman, a game-time decision. If he does not play, the defensive pairings will likely be McDonough and Chernak, Sergachev and Girardi, and Coburn and Jan Ruta. So 7 o'clock puck drop. I know the pregame starts at 6:30 up the dial on our sister station, News Radio WFLA, and as always, you can watch it on Fox Sports Sun. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Recher. Follow the station at 95.3 WDAE. Go to 95.3WDAE.com for the best Bolts coverage. I will be doing a Facebook Live after the game with some post-game reaction. And again, I'll be at Straw Park in St. Pete with my good buddy John Sable and Brandon Baylor, ABC Action News. We're going to be live on their stream, so make sure you follow us on there. And yeah, we'll be talking about this Lightning team. Look at that, beautiful Amalie Arena. I got to head on over there. My girlfriend's over there. And it's 98 Rockfest time, so I got to go make an appearance and take some pictures, and then I'm heading out to St. Pete. So make sure you guys be the Thunder, tweet, support, appreciate. Go Bolts.